but I have with all the rest of these. And this one's particularly fun for me because it really does work and help with kids focus. Okay, so we are all trained by our parents, our culture, and our society. Can we train into depression and anxiety from birth? Yes. So people wonder, you know, was this on my genes or did I learn this behavior from my parents? And it's actually both. You can train your child up in the way in which they will go and they will not depart from it. So if they see a behavior, and it's kind of sad, I'm a mother of 4, and unfortunately my girls end up all like me with my workaholic tendencies. And now they're always coming out, oh, I'm so tired, and they're doing 8,000 things. And I beg them, I keep telling them, no, I told you need to rest and you need to slow down. But you know, they're doing what I did. You know, your children will mimic your behavior, and they have my genes, poor things. Neurons that wire together fire together. So we can kind of track those in the brain. Okay, so neurotherapy is training neurons to rewire for our optimal health. This is one tool we use to reestablish balance in your system. Anxiety, depression, and insomnia affect the whole body's ability to function. In other words, it's not just in your head. It's a whole body response. For instance, serotonin is a neurotransmitter of depression. But we have serotonin receptors in our gut. And serotonin affects our bones. And serotonin affects our blood vessels and our blood flow everywhere. And serotonin affects histamine levels and whether you have allergic reaction to things. So depression, if your serotonin is low, and the only reason that you have depression is that your serotonin is low, well, that's a whole body problem. It will change your pain experience. You will have less pain tolerance, and it will affect your immune system. So it is not just a thing in your head. It affects the whole body. Okay. So brain waves are a reflection of brain activity in response to the environment and to tasks. So there's 4 of them that we look at. Alpha, beta, theta, delta. This one is the slow ones. You're sleepy. Okay? The delta. You're asleep. Theta is kind of that time between wake and sleep. Where you're not quite awake, but you're not really asleep anymore. You're starting to think, but you're not fully awake. Or a daydreaming state. Beta is where you're alert and active like I am right now. I'd have a lot of high beta waves right now, speaking in front of you. Alpha is a calm, where you guys should be right now, just calmly in alpha listening, you know. Theta is what is really prevalent in ADHD. It's a slower brainwave, which, you know, you'd think it'd be a fast one because these kids are hyper, right? But it's not. What they're doing is they're speeding up their body so that their brain will speed up. They're trying to speed up their brain when they do that. Autistic kids, when they STEM, when we have them hooked up, we can see what's happening, and they're trying to raise the frequency of their brain when they start doing this, you know. So it's interesting. So anyway, we have those 4 waves, and I just went over them. They have different frequencies, which just means how fast they're going. So, and I just described those. Delta is deep sleep, theta is meditative state or snooze alarm, alpha is idle, relaxed state, like a cat laying in the sun, and beta is relaxed thinking. And I would say I'm probably not relaxed thinking. I'm probably high beta right now. They hooked me up. I tend to be high beta. So the thing of it is, one of the fears everybody has is if you put my brain on this machine, is it going to change my brain? And see, the last thing we want to do is make your brain different. Like, if there's good things about the way you function, and you know, the fear when you sit down is, are you going to mess with my brain? And the answer is no. You know, because, you know, I get on there and have all these high beta waves where you think I was anxious. It's like, no, I'm not anxious. I'm just highly functioning. And I'm at work, and I'm, got a lot going on. So I don't have panic attacks, and I don't have trouble winding down or anything. But I wouldn't want that taken away from me, is what I'm saying. It's like, don't relax me too much. I need to do my job. I need my brain to think, and I need to think fast. I need to make decisions. And so my fear, and a lot of people's fear, is like, you're going to take that away from me. It's like, no, we won't. So, brain map, quantitative EEG, is the first thing we do. And all we do is we record what your brain is doing. And there's 2 ways to do it. A brain mapping, we have a 12-lead one, and we have a 19-lead one. And one's a lot more expensive than the other. And it depends which one we'll do when we meet you. It typically takes about an hour. No pain or discomfort. You just sleep quietly for your eyes closed for approximately 10 minutes, and then the same with your eyes open. which for me, the eyes open is tough to not blink. I have contacts, and then you tell me not to blink, and then I can't not blink. You know, it's just, so that's why you sit there for an hour, because they're trying to get really good readings on you. And we might have you asked to do reading or math, but that's only if you come in saying that's a problem, that you're having trouble with tasks. So we have you do a task and see what happens to your brain, which is very helpful sometimes. Therapy is geared specifically to the individual, so that's why we do this. So we find out what your brain is doing. Instead of studying, well, here's what the areas of the brain we tend to use for people who have anxiety and just stick them there without knowing if that's what you have. Because what we have found is sometimes people think they are diagnosed with depression and really they have anxiety. Or we've had them come in where they were depressed, they were placed on an antidepressant by their psychiatrist, and then we put them on there, and now on the antidepressant, they have anxiety. So does it mean the psychiatrist is wrong? No. But when you study it, anxiety and depression can start to overlap, and it's hard sometimes to tell which one came first, because they can kind of be part of a loop. And so this tells us, and then we don't guess. You know, no guessing. We have very objective stuff that you can share with your other docs if you want to. A lot of them don't want to see it, but occasionally they do. They will eventually. I tend to get stuff that people, so far all the aesthetics people in Omaha are following what I'm doing. And the hormone people, all the OBGYNs are starting to wake up and follow what I'm doing even though they don't understand it. And this hasn't caught on yet, it will. They're starting to watch what I'm doing because I tend to find things before they do, and they're always like, why did she find it? Well, it's because I'm looking for it. I'm out there looking for safe ways to help people that are well studied, that won't cost very much, that are in the long run going to help, and I constantly am looking for that. So, an average session is 1 hour in length. The actual treatment, you're going to only have 2 to 4 sensors on your head at a specific location on your scalp, and then parameters will be set, and he's going to show you that. Then you put on some photonic glasses, and these are set for color and frequency. In other words, these are how we ask the brain to, we put in a pattern that we want. So if your brain's going like this, and that part of the brain we want to go like this, we flash lights at the frequency that we want the brain to do. So we teach the brain a pattern. That's all we're doing. We're asking the brain to follow a pattern. And the color of the light matters. Color affects the brain.